So I grabbed a rock and then I dove across the river and smashed out the back window.
Today on the Morning Edition, tense moments when a car plunges into Ketchikan Creek. We hear from one man that jumped in after to help save a life. Plus, if you're heading out hunting to get a moose or caribou this year, we have some helpful advice to keep your fresh meals healthy and safe. And later, a search for a soulmate. Not the soulmate that you might expect. We'll meet a rather unique snail with a unique situation as the Morning Edition starts right now. Good Friday morning, everyone. Snail looking for love. What do you think about that? It's very interesting.
Hopefully it doesn't leave any of the little snail slime behind. Because
yeah,
that's a no for me. But, hey, maybe there's love for everyone.
There is love for everyone, even snails.
Maybe the snail will find one. May come at a snail's pace, but we'll see. We'll see what happens when that story unfolds. As far as the rain showers across South Central, they're still with us this morning. We are still holding on to some gusty conditions as well. Now, we will see some drier conditions later this afternoon into the evening hours, but largely expecting this wet weather pattern to remain with us for a good portion of the state for the foreseeable future. We are waking up to 54 degrees this morning. Some breezy conditions still with us, and of course, those rain showers, they'll stay with us through at least mid-morning and early afternoon. You can see most of that activity is across western parts of South Central, where we're seeing those temperatures to start off the morning in the upper 40s and the lower 50s. A cluster of heavier rain is impacting Anchorage into parts of the Matsu Valley this morning. So we're going to continue to hold on to this rainfall for the first part of the day, not only for us here in South Central, but into the interior. We're continuing to hold on to some of that widespread rain this morning. That will also lighten up later this afternoon into the evening hours, with some possible late-day peaks of sunshine sticking around in the forecast. But we are in September. This is one of our wetter months across the state, and we're going to continue to favor that for many areas across Alaska. 55 degrees as you head off to school this morning with those morning showers, and of course some sunshine breaks look possible later this afternoon, with the temperature sitting right around the upper 50s and the lower 60s, which for this time of year is still fairly seasonal. Some locations could see slightly above seasonal values when it comes to our temperatures, which for this time of year should be topping out right around 60 degrees. We've got stormy weather in the Bering. We'll be talking about that coming up. Still flood watches remaining in effect across the state with some wet weather across Alaska, and we could even see some gusty conditions through parts of the Aleutians and into southwest Alaska this weekend. I'll have more on that 7-day forecast coming up.
In today's top story, a daring rescue in Ketchikan as a bystander jumps into action after a car plunges into the creek. It happened on one of Ketchikan's busiest tourist days of the season. Adelmi Ruiz joins us now from the newsroom to give us the latest. Adelmi.
Kristen, police say a driver hit two cruise ship passengers, a husband and wife, before the car plunged into Ketchikan Creek. Sadly, a 57-year-old woman passed away from Auburn, Indiana. Was injured. Take a look at this video captured on the rescue attempt of the driver. Police say two bystanders jumped into the water, one breaking the window with a rock to pull the unresponsive driver from the vehicle. It happened just after 8:30 Thursday morning. Ketchikan police say the car exited the Centennial parking lot, struck the pedestrians, broke through a fence, and landed in the water near the Good Fortune restaurant. We're now hearing from one of the rescuers, Dylan Self, who helped pull the driver from the car.
The driver's side window was open, so I went over there and held onto the rail with my right hand, and then I pulled her out and placed her up on top of the roof of the car on her back. Made sure that her airways and stuff were all clear, and started doing CPR, and that's when a little bit of water.
The driver started breathing on their own while they were being taken to the hospital. Two others were treated for minor injuries, and Self says he was later taken to the hospital where he got 4 staples in his right arm. Kristen?
All right, thanks, Adelmi. Wasilla man is now charged after Matsu Animal Control found more than a dozen animals on his property earlier this summer. Joe Walgood visited the site and has the distressing details.
16 dead animals were found on the property behind me. 13 of them were found in the garage, and authorities say they had likely been in there decaying for over 6 months. While headed out to the Wasilla property of 42-year-old Kevin Nayer on June 26th, Matsu Animal Control says they anticipated the possibility of more animals beyond those that prompted the check-in.
One of our officers had noticed the dogs over a period of time and became concerned that they weren't being taken care of.
In the process of that check-in in the Knick Fairview area, officers found 9 dead rabbits, 6 dead goats, and 1 dead dog. Also discovered were 2 severely underweight large dogs and a healthy cat, all 3 of which were rescued and have since been adopted. Nair now faces 3 felony charges and 3 misdemeanor charges of cruelty to animals and is awaiting trial. Joe Allgood, Alaska's news source.
New video out of Sandpoint where you can hear the moment a gunshot rang out as officers confronted the captain of a fishing vessel. Troopers say they seized nearly $1 million worth of narcotics from that boat on Monday, but not before a dangerous confrontation. According to investigators, the captain boarded his vessel that had been seized with a search warrant and then tried to run away. When the officers saw and followed him, police say he then pulled a hatchet. That's when a Sandpoint officer fired, striking the man. The captain was given emergency care and later medevaced. Troopers say the vessel contained 600 grams of meth and 35 grams of heroin. The Alaska Bureau of Investigation is now leading the case. Severe flooding hits the town of Allakaket, triggered by heavy interior rain and forcing evacuations and potential health concerns. The Tanana Chiefs Conference says 18 locals have been evacuated, mostly elders or those with medical needs. The group is also delivering food and other supplies. Officials say the biggest threats are a washed out main road and high standing water that could pose a health hazard to the community.
There were a lot of outhouses that were compromised. So that led to a biohazard situation. There was an oil drum that tipped over and unfortunately spilled, so DEC was involved. So it really has it's extremely disruptive.
So far, authorities say no homes have been impacted. As hunters fan out across Alaska, the real challenge begins after bagging that moose or caribou. Experts are sounding the alarm about the hidden dangers between a safe meal and a serious illness. Adrian Peterson explains what to look out for and how to protect yourself in this health rush.
With moose hunts and more underway, hunters across the state are heading out to harvest wild game. But for those that do harvest game, the risks of infection are real and caution must be taken to avoid illness.
It's really important in the field to field butcher the animal as soon as possible, getting the organs out, because that's where bacteria will get into the animal and the meat will spoil.
But there's also caution to be taken while butchering.
So wearing gloves whenever butchering game, making sure that you clean the knives and your cutting board and tools, clean with soap and water, hot water, and then you can disinfect them with using 1 part household bleach in 9 parts of water.
This can protect you from bacteria and pathogens such as tularemia in hares and contagious eczema in Dall sheep. And some hunters may encounter parasites too.
People that are hunting moose or caribou, especially for the first time, will notice some parasites that are visible in the meat or in the animal's organs, and these are really not a problem.
These are visible white specks in the meat or organs, but there are microscopic parasites that do pose a danger, like trichinella.
And they also can have a parasite called toxoplasmosis, which is again, microscopic.
These parasites can cause severe illness, but bacteria, parasites, and viruses alike can be killed by thoroughly cooking meat to an internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Adrian Peterson, Alaska's news source.
Coming up, shaping the Alaska we know today as we look ahead to the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence being signed. We'll take a look back as Elizabeth Baratrovich's impact on our state.
Wet weather still stays with us across the state, particularly as we welcome in next week. We'll have more on that Bering storm coming up. But first, the sunrise, 7:02 in Anchorage, 6:06 in Juneau. Your full forecast is next.
Welcome back on this Friday morning. We almost made it to the weekend. Aaron, what's our weather looking like?
We do have some rain showers in the forecast across South Central through the weekend. Of course, what we're really going to be watching is multiple storms set to impact areas of western Alaska. We've got the Bering Sea, the Aleutians, and southern Alaska. We'll continue to see winds and rain. Gusty winds up to 60 miles per hour will be possible through the Aleutians. Then as we welcome in the weekend, parts of southwest Alaska could see winds up to about 45 miles per hour. So we're continuing to see this uptick in not only winds and rain, but this fallish weather pattern. Temperatures across the state this morning in the 40s and the 50s for most locations. We've got rain out towards the Aleutians here in South Central through parts of the interior, as well as you head across eastern parts of the Brooks Range. We are seeing some break in that activity. Notice that ridge of high pressure that's been with us out towards southeast, providing ample summertime warmth that's been with us for the past 2 weeks. That's still over southeast, although it is shifting to the east, and we've got more of a stormier weather pattern taking hold as a trough is digging south across the state. You can see out towards the Aleutians and the Bering Sea. This is our next storm system we're watching, where we've got some gusty winds as well as some heavy rainfall that's going to build in across the region throughout today. Of course, winds to start off this morning, not too terribly strong, anywhere from about 30 to nearly 50 miles per hour. Those will steadily increase throughout the day, and then into your Saturday, you'll see winds beginning to build into southwest Alaska, where we could see gusts of about 40 to 45 miles per hour. So widespread rain pushing through the central Aleutians this morning, out towards St. Paul, the eastern Aleutians. You'll tap into that activity later this afternoon into the evening hours, and then you can see southwest Alaska. You'll see that rain arriving overnight into your Saturday. Now, this storm system will primarily impact areas of western Alaska, although we will see some light rain showers here across South Central. As we welcome in the weekend, we'll still hold on to some breezy conditions. Not widespread rain by any means, but we will keep that chance for some showers in the forecast. Today, we'll see those temperatures warming into the low to mid 60s across South Central, and of course, some late day peaks of sunshine will be possible. While we can't rule out some morning rain showers across the interior, we will see drier weather later today. Temperatures, though, certainly on the cooler side in the mid to upper 50s, while ongoing warmth continues out towards southeast, with those temperatures in the mid to upper 60s. Just a few degrees cooler than what we have been sitting at for a good portion of this week, but that summertime warmth still remains, and you can see more rain expected out towards areas of western and southwest Alaska. Most locations across the state today will break into the 50s and the 60s. Meanwhile, what we're going to be dealing with when it comes to our precipitation chances over the next couple of days, really the next week or so, several opportunities for some dry weather, but we will see an overall trend towards wetter conditions across a good portion of South Central. You can see Saturday and Sunday, we'll hold on to that chance for some showers in the forecast. Daily highs near 60, and then on into next week, while we are keeping a chance for some showers, most of that will be in the Susitna Valley and then coastal areas of South Central, with inland locations holding on to a chance for at least some isolated to scattered activity.
Over this next year, Alaska's News Source is joining Gray media nationally, as well as all local Gray stations, honoring the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, which was adopted July 4th, 1776. One key figure in shaping Alaska was Elizabeth Peratrovich. Rebecca Palsha has her story.
In the middle of downtown Anchorage, beside the trolley, surrounded by flowers and visitors, a reminder.
It couldn't have been easy. It had to be very difficult.
Alaska history.
Women fight for their rights.
Have you stopped to read the sign? To learn about our pasts and the Alaska Native woman who changed everything.
She's largely credited with the passage of the first anti-discrimination bill in the country, 1945. She worked passionately her whole adult life to get that passed. This was almost 20 years before Lyndon Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
Elizabeth Peratrovich.
She became known as one of the greatest speakers of her generation.
An American civil rights activist and Tlingit woman who worked for equality on behalf of Alaska Natives. She was tired of Indigenous people paying taxes and fighting wars for the country, but not having the same rights as white citizens.
And when they moved to Juneau, they were greeted with no natives allowed, no natives or dogs allowed. The different experiences that she had along the way just gave her more wind in her sails.
She gave such a powerful speech to lawmakers that the Alaska Equal Rights Act of 1945 passed and was signed into law.
The entire room was just filled. People were standing on chairs in the back. I mean, it was really well attended. And after she finished her talk, people openly wept, and, this huge applause. And they took the vote, and, she won.
The governor at the time, on record, saying the bill wouldn't have passed without her.
I think that's very something noble to do. I myself am Alaskan Native, so yeah, I think it's glad to hear someone was doing something like that for them back then.
Securing her place in history and improving life.
It's probably somebody who we have to learn about it and remember.
For all of us, you can sit here and think about that. Rebecca Palsha, Alaska's news source.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcasts from Alaska's news source automatically, and stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.